Please join me in the Litany of Gathering on page 2 of your order of service. You may go to the forest in search of the divine.
You will find it there, but divinity dwells in us all.
You may seek the divine in the beauty and fragrance of flowers.
You will find it there, but divinity dwells in us all.
You may look for the divine in the vastness and wonder of the night sky.
You will find it there, but divinity dwells in us all.
Seek, therefore, in your own heart for divinity. It is in us all. Now please come forward to the microphone and share any joy or sorrow of a personal nature that you wish to share with us this morning. May these lights remind us of community and the mission of this congregation. Please join me in the unison words of offering on page 3 of your order of service. The generosity of our gifts of time and financial offerings sustain the work of the Universalist Unitarian Church of Farmington that seeks answers everywhere, includes everyone, and lives with the compassion. It's my pleasure to welcome our guest speaker today, Harjot Singh. Harjot was born in a Sikh family in northern Punjab in India. He came to the US in the early 2000s. He completed his master's degree at Wayne State University, and he's been living in Detroit for 19 years, became a citizen in 2013, and has been married for 14 years to Arthi, who is a coworker of mine, and that's how I got to know Harjot. And I had an auction event last year, a Night of India, and Arthi and Harjot helped host that, and Harjot was so entertaining and interesting that the people that attended encouraged me to ask him to come and speak to us, so that's how he is here today. So please, Harjot.
Thank you, Barb. You set the bar really high. I hope I can be of the nature. I would like to speak a little bit about Sikhism. Before I do that, I would start with the basic composition which we all Sikhs believe is the beginning. It starts like this: Ekam Kar Satnam Karta Purkh Nirbhav Nirvair Akal Murat Ajuni Seb Gur Prasad, which translated means there is one God who's timeless, who has no enemies, no fear, no form, who has been there in the beginning, through the ages, will be there forever. One Spirit, one universe, one God. That's all we start with, and that's all we believe in, and that's all we believe is out there. I will bring more on this when I get the chance again. Thank you. Thank you. The topic I'd like to speak is called Sikhism. I hope we have heard a lot about isms in our life, a lot of isms, communism, communalism, and all that. But this Sikhism, we would like to see as not a religion, it's for us a way of life. Because the word Sikh, it comes from a language which it originated in Punjab, which means a learner, a seeker, a disciple of the guru or the teacher. We always believe we are always learning. We haven't gotten to the end of our learning process ever. That's why a Sikh is always humble and learner in front of the guru. It's considered a monotheistic religion, which we all believe is one, just one. Whether you believe it is one God, one spirit, one universe, it's just one. And it originated in the region of Punjab, which is north of India. And we believe it started with the birth of our first messenger, Baba Nanak, who was born in 1469. In fact, we are celebrating 550 years of his birth this year, and it's been a great occasion for us. He brought the message of one creator, divine unity, and equality for all mankind, while also engaging in selfless service, justice, and prosperity for all. That's what our prayers, our beliefs, our whole existence is based on. Our whole principle is based on the teachings from 9 gurus. We call them gurus as teachers. First, Baba Nanak and his 9 successors, and then we have our Adi Granth as our last and final guru. As I said, in Sikhism, the belief is the God is shapeless, timeless, formless, and it has existed for all the times, previously, is existing today, and will exist forever. It cannot be comprehended, its self-existence, where it came from, how it came from, nobody knows. And the only way we can understand is through a teacher, a guru, who will lead us to the path of divine illumination. Maya is another form we believe is delusion or illusion, which is deviation from the pursuit of God. And in Sikhism, the influence of 5 thieves, we call it, or the 5 corrupt influences, ego, anger, greed, attachment, and lust, takes us away from the path of seeking the true God, the true belief, the true form. Sikhism believes that God exists in everything. Everything is His creation and He is everywhere. So the main purpose is to connect with that one, the Akal. The basic principle is that if you become one with the God or the one which has created, you are no different. You have no enemies, you have no friends. You just become one. And the biggest obstacle is the ego. I, me, mine. The only way we say to get rid of this I, me, and mine is to do the Nam. Nam is considered the divine word or the God's word. When we meditate on it, we pray on it, we contemplate the sayings, we become more enlightened. The more enlightened we are, all these ego, anger leaves us. And when it leaves us with nothing but a pure connection, a pure path, an open willingness to look for God. The 6 gurus always taught that by remembering that name and through service, which is called the seva, you can connect with the one. Our 3 basic principles I've written underneath, I'll repeat, is Nam Japo, Kirt Karo, Vand Chako. Simply translated it, meditate on the word of God, do your honest work, and share it with the world. That's all three things we are supposed to do. When you are doing this, you just become one with the universe, with the God, the Creator. There is no ego, there is no path which is an obstacle. Now, the biggest way to learn that, there are a lot of ways. Everybody's learning or walking on the path of this enlightenment in its own spiritual journey. But the way we feel we are guided by is a guru, a teacher. And our best guru, or our living guru, which is for there forever, is the Adi Granth. The first Granth, which we also know as Guru Granth Sahib, is the composition of all the teachings the gurus have given through the time, through different ages, through different periods. And it's not only the 6 gurus. Any teaching which gave the message of universal love, togetherness, oneness is composed. So in Guru Granth Sahib, in Adi Granth, we have Muslim saints, Hindu saints, whose compositions are there. So we can all become one, not only in spirit, but in practice and in deeds too. So we can't differentiate, there is a different religious person, he has different faith, because ultimately the belief is one God, one Guru. The place where we all congregate, we worship, we get together, we call it Gurudwara. Guru is the teacher, Dwara is the place where we go to get the wisdom from our teacher, which is our Guru, the Guru Granth Sahib. Anybody can go there. All of us are now in a Gurudwara for me. The only difference we see here, we don't have a Adi Granth. But if I say, are we all Sikhs at this moment? Yeah. I don't have to go out to look at a Sikh. You don't have to be wearing a turban to say you're a Sikh. You are all Sikhs here. Yeah? Because we are learning. We are seeking that peace. We are seeking that path to the divine one. And we are here in this universal place, which we are trying to get there. So that's the whole thing. This place is open to everybody. The Gurudwara is open to everybody. Anybody can walk in there without any discrimination of color, creed, caste, or any way. Nobody is ever turned away. Everybody is welcome in this place. And the first of the Gurus, Baba Nanak, he preached the equality, justice, and honest living. We are talking about the time in 1500s where there was no justice for poor. There was no equality. Women were not equal. So first thing he came out when he got enlightened, he said, all is one. No one is more, no one is less. So his first path was everybody would be given the same name. So if my name is Harjot, so could be a girl's name. Because you're all created in the same spirit, so you're all equal. That was an unthinkable thing in the 15th century. You could not believe that, how could it be? Yes, he said it's justice and equal for all. Nobody's different. All the other gurus took the same spiritual path. But the 6th Guru, Guru Hargobind, said, you cannot protect the meek if you are meek. He said, let me quote from the Bible, I will offer my second cheek to the person, but once he slaps me on the second cheek, I have to protect the meek. So I have to raise my sword. He was the first Guru who said, you will wear two threads of divinity, the Naam and Seva, spirituality and humbleness, but also you'll wear the sword to protect the meek. He created the first militia to protect the unprotected, the ones who could not save themselves, the ones who were at the mercy of others. But would always be there to seek protection. He said, you have the right to protect them. The ninth Guru was beheaded in Delhi by the Mughal emperors because he refused to embrace Islam. He said, I cannot agree with it that one religion is better than another because all is one. There is no way I can say, yep, you are good, this is bad. So for his defiance, he was beheaded by the Mughal emperor, but he stayed true to the path and said, Sis diyo, sir na diyo. I gave up my head, but I never gave up my word. And his son, who became our next Guru, Guru Gobind Singh, created a militia in this form you see me today, with a turban, with hair, and with protection of sword. He baptized the Sikhs, and he said, you will carry the 5 symbols. Kada, a steel bangle on your hand, a comb in your hair, the kesh, which should never be cut, a kachara, an undergarment, and a sword. The meaning for him to give this was, when you're wearing the bangle and you pick up your hand, whether to hit somebody or to give somebody a blessing, you need to remember you are not the one who's doing it. That bangle will remind you it's the Almighty doing it. So stay in the humble path. The cleanliness, the kesh, this turban, was the symbol for anybody to know that this man has chosen the righteous path. He's there for his service, and he's there for his sacrifice. Anytime you need any help, you see a guy with this turban, just walk over to him, anytime, anywhere in the world, and say, I need some help. And you will never ever be said no. Because that's the reason the God created us, to help each other. And this is a symbol on my head to remind me constantly, I should always be there for service and help. The kachara, the undergarment, was given as a reminder that you are a servant. So when you take over something, your lust should not overtake you. You are there to protect them, not to subjugate them. So when you're wearing it, you're making a commitment, a covenant with the divine that I will follow the right path. And the sword, it's only there to protect the meek, not to settle your disputes, not to subjugate other people, but to remind, to keep it out only when it's needed. This is our dress code. A baptized Sikh should have these things. Now, in modern days, I would say, no, we do not carry a sword around. You don't see me carry a 3 feet. We are not living in Game of Thrones. So I can symbolically wear a thread. Because that dress code in the olden times was a symbol that that guy standing there like a priest collar is the one you can seek protection. He could be trusted. He's like a cop. Anytime you're in trouble, just go to him. But nowadays, we have cops, so I don't need to carry my sword. Thank God for that. Because it became very difficult. When you are baptized, you are giving away your life on a path which is only for service and sacrifice. You're always ready to fight for the war of unjust nature. So the Sikhs would train. They would do their work 11 days a month and be like a National Guard, go for 1 month in the month of April and militarily train themselves. And any time a war was declared, you won't see a Sikh standing in his fields. You won't see a Sikh in his shop. He would be on the front fighting. And he would come back with the grace of God, thanks. Does not come back, he gave up his path, his life for his belief. So, in the 17th century, the last Mughal Empire was on its last legs. The central authority was weakening. The marauders were coming in from every direction to attack, And all the Sikhs, they became in a militia known as missiles, so they were given specific areas. Just go in there and protect. And in case there is an attack, you go and protect them. Now, how do you make somebody say, I want your son to join? Because this path will not let you see your 30th birthday. You will die pretty soon. So the promise was made that every firstborn kid would be made a Sikh, so that everyone is protecting the other and becomes a kinship. By 1799, a Sikh commander said, okay, you know what, we can't do this. We need to become one. So he created an empire. It lasted for about half a century till the British took over in 1856. So the Sikhs were lost from there. But the path never got lost. The Guru's message never got lost. Still, in India's war of independence, Sikhs played a huge part because it was unjust to subjugate the other. So they would keep on fighting. It was the last province to fall under the British, Punjab, where this empire was, and the first to rise up again. Even some British historians wrote, like, these guys have some death wish. It's 15 years ago we defeated them. How many kids they lost? And they're still fighting. What for? Because it was unjust. So you have to get up and fight. That's the Guru's message. Selfless. The British, now, the funny thing is, fight. Why do we fight? It's for land, it's for money, it's for other honor. But the Sikhs were always there to protect. So when the Second World War and the First World War declared, the Sikhs fought in every war. They fought against the Germans, they fought against the Japanese, they also fought against the British. Now, why? Giving you this fighting, you might think, oh my God, these guys just don't know anything else. No. The idea was everybody should be free. If British are fighting the Japanese or the Germans, then one day the British should not subjugate them. They should all be free. So that's why Sikhs joined every army to bring this message. We are only here as a messenger. We are there to do this work and we are done. These are some of our symbols. You will see it in every Gurudwara, this symbol. It's called Akhanda. The sword in the middle has double-edged sword. So it reminds us the path you take, the truth and honor. It should not only be for the other person, it should be for you too. The circle represents the unity and uniqueness of God, oneness. And the two swords around it reminds us that everything always comes in duality. If there is light, there is always darkness. If there is bad in somebody, there's always good. So you don't be the judge. This is our flag. It's not a flag which you can say, oh yes, it's for occupying forces. It will be on every Gurudwara. It's a symbol which says, you are welcome here. You are protected here. And you will be given anything you want. This is our Gurudwara. It's in Pakistan right now, where Guru Nanak was born. It's called Nankana Sahib. We don't have an opportunity as easy that we can just walk over and see it. So that's why we always have in our prayer that one day, with the grace of God, we may get an opportunity to visit it. And this is our Vatican. The Golden Temple, it's covered with a small sheet of gold on the top of the domes. And the white building behind is our spiritual Supreme Court. This is where we get all our decisions. Nowadays, we don't get the decisions, should we marry this or that way? Mostly the decisions usually made are, how do we save the planet from pollution, from plastic, from deforestation? Because the Guru said, there are some unchanging rules for unchanging times. You should always be one. Remember, you are a messenger. But as the times change, you need to go and protect this world, because that's the only one you have. Sikhs always will welcome you. They don't consider anybody outside of them. They were the first ones to give women the right to vote in 1561. Women were given equal opportunity to enter the temples. Anybody can go to Gurudwara and read from the Adi Granth. It's written in Punjabi, so I don't think any of you would be able to read it, but you're more than welcome to enter there. There is no priestly class. Nobody's born into it. And the main concept they say is seva, service. Do it with your body, tan. Do it with your mind, man. And if you can't do it with all this, do it with money. Yep, we are supposed to give 10% of whatever we earn for a service. Now it does not say to Sikh service, it just says service. We never sit at the same level with the Granth. We sit humbly down to remind us that you are not the God. Don't get your ego high. And we always share. That's one of the biggest things which Sikhism teaches us. And our day's prayers, it begins in the morning. Thank God for giving me this opportunity to serve this world today. And in the end, we say, thank God for giving us this day and give me another day to service you. And our last words always are, Nanak Naam Chardi Kala, Tere Pane Sarbatta Pala. Means the name of divine will give you eternal bliss and joy. And whatever you do, we believe you're doing for goodness of everybody in this world. So we humbly submit to your will. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
May I ask a question?
Yes, yes.
Is this part of Hinduism, or is it, what is the difference between Sikhism and Hinduism?
Hinduism believes in Holy Trinity. The Brahma, the creator, the Vishnu, the manager, and Shiva, the destroyer, like Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Sikhism believes there is no Trinity, one true being. So if you are a scientist who believes there is no God, there's just Big Bang, sure. Because that's one big bang for one true being. But if you believe God created everything, we say that the Mool Mantra, Ajuni Sahib, Nirankar, it has no shape, no form. It wasn't born, it won't die. So that's one of the biggest differences we believe. You don't need a priest to take you through to seek the divine or seek the enlightenment. You just have to find in yourself. And that's how you do it through Naam, by meditation and prayers. There's no hard and fast rule. Like I said, I'm in company of Sikhs today. We all believe in the same thing. Yes, sir?
The first building you showed there, you said was in Pakistan. Are all of those buildings in Pakistan?
No. This is the only one in Pakistan. This is in India, in Punjab. And this is also in India, Punjab. We do not give importance to a building. The main spirit in the building is the Guru Granth Sahib. Anywhere there is Guru Granth Sahib is a Gurudwara, because that's where Guru is giving us the message. But to bind a people's spirit, like we have Vatican, we have Mecca, we have in Hinduism Kashi, that's one of the spirits we guide them to, like, you lost a place where the Prophet was born. but the message should never be lost.
Do you meet together in people's homes, or do you have a place that you gather and support each other, or whatever you do? I'm not sure.
We don't need to gather anywhere. We can gather anywhere there is a disaster or need for a Sikh. So we meet in Gurudwara just for religious services. But right now there is a camp or some team of volunteers in the border between Syria and Iraq. They're serving the refugees there.
I'm talking about, you live here now in Michigan.
Yeah,
Do you meet with other Sikhs?
yes, I do.
And is it in private homes, or is there a location?
Yes, there are few locations around. There is one on the Plymouth. We have in Haggerty and Schoolcraft. There is one Gurudwara there, yes. And there is a couple of Gurudwaras in Canton, the city of Canton. There is one in Rochester Hills. You will find anywhere you see this, that's a Gurudwara. Just walk in. It will always be open. If you want, we can go right now. And the good thing is, after we are done with the prayers, they serve us nice lunch. Yes, ma'am.
I'm a little hesitant to ask this question because it might be too personal, but why do you not cut your hair? And I probably explained that and I missed it. And I understand that it's wound around underneath the turban, correct?
Yes, that's correct. The reason for us not cutting the hair, we look at it at two practical ways. That's one of the commitments like we make to God. That's how it's our symbol, easier commitment to make. Secondly, the gurus wanted a different person to look. Like right now, if somebody walks in here, he looks at my turban, he will say, yeah, that's the Sikh. So in 15th century, when you needed protection, you needed somebody you can instantly recognize, like a firefighter, a cop, a military. So they gave us this, to always wear and be a guiding symbol. Sikhs have reached many places in all over the world. And our prayer always say, whenever we get some place of importance, that God, please make sure he stays humble and he's loyal to the country and to the faith. The country comes first, not the faith. Faith is personal. We have Sikh military generals serving in US Army, in Indian Army, in fact even in Pakistan Army, which I don't believe we are ever be friends with, but they are there because they're loyal to that country. Their only loyalty lies to the place they live. Because God is one. Anywhere you go, you are with Him. But you need to serve the people you are with.
Is there required dressing for women?
No. If you're asking for every day or for visiting the church, the Gurudwara.
Anytime, like the turban, no?
No. For women, they can keep their hair uncut. They can wear a turban, but there is no hard and specific rule for women. Women were given more choice because they were having a tough life. You don't know when the husbands will come back, so they have to do all the work. They were tilling the fields, taking care of the animals, also learning to fight. Our first guru, we say Baba Nanak, had a sister, Bebe Nanki. We keep it very simple, Nanak and Nanki and all that. We praise more Bebe Nanki because that sister was the cornerstone of Guru Nanak's life. Whenever he felt low, whenever he felt he was losing his focus, he would always go back to Bebe Nanki. So women were always given more rights, more choices. So,
But you mentioned
That's,
But as a woman, your wife would not be recognized as a Sikh necessarily. Is that not significant?
no. The women were considered Sikhs. I am a Sikh due to my deeds, not due to my appearance. This appearance is for you all to know that you can trust me. I have to give you protection. I have to give you all the help I can.
Does that apply to women?
Yes.
As well?
Yes, the women were also trained in martial arts. The women were also given the equal responsibility. But women were not required to wear the turban. When they get baptized, yes, then they cannot cut their hair. They have to keep that covered. So some women will wear the turban. Men were more required to wear the turban. Because we are talking in 15th and 16th century where women were not seen outside. They were mostly confined.
Is there a global administration that administers the church?
No. It's independent. Every Gurudwara, every church is independent. We only take spiritual guidance from our Vatican, I would say, from the White Building, if they change something, but everybody is independent.
I have a question. I have a beautiful bust of a Sikh, hand-painted, it's at least 50 years old in my living room, it's about that big. It's absolutely beautiful. But anyways, he looks like a prince.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just thinking about the turban. I'm sure it's somewhat symbolic, and you do actually cut your hair sometimes. And then I'm wondering, I would think you said other things are symbolic also, like you don't carry a sword, of course. How impractical it would be. And if you were to actually go into battle, a lot of long hair on a man in battle is not very practical. It can be very difficult to take care of. You would be better off perhaps wearing a helmet. You know what I mean? So how do you get around all of those things? And, also, I have some concerns, about you saying it's not a religion. Certainly, it does follow patterns of religious values and dogmas and gurus. Very few women are baptized, and it's a very big boys' club, right?
Well, not the old boys' club, I guess. No, women are not refused the baptism.
No, but, they probably, typically, I know, like other religions, they bring their money, to the boys' club, and then they're kind of let in. You know what I mean?
Sure. The gurus, the last guru was, he died in 1708. For the last 320 years or 12 years, we have been following Adi Granth. That's our guru. We have no practices, as you say. We consider the guru as a living being. Women, you becoming baptized, I'm not baptized. My brother has cut his hair. He's totally different. So, but we are both following the path. I'm not baptized. My wife is not baptized. So it's a personal choice to become baptized.
What would compel you want to be baptized?
No.
You're not baptized.
No, there is no compulsion at all. It's your personal choice. When you feel enlightened that this is the path I want to take, then you get baptized. You follow more towards meditation and prayers. That's when you get baptized. When we are in this world where we are doing everyday things, we deviate from the path a little. We are not 100% honest, so we don't want to get baptized.
Well, it sounds like you have to be kind of privileged then to, be a priest, to be a
No.
guru. Well,
No.
you have to have money to support yourself while you pray all the time. And it sounds like the women were like the burden, the beasts of burden. That's the way you explained it. Certainly, they, were doing all the work. They were in the fields. They had a hard life, so they didn't need to wear the fancy turban.
Oh yeah, it's
You
a.
know what I mean? So, this is the picture that you paint.
But we're talking about 1500s and 1600s.
Prints in my living room.
Yeah, the 15 and 1600s were tough. Now you think of it, there are wars practically every day. So I'm practically gone every day fighting a war somewhere, protecting someone. And I am going there, I don't know if I'm coming back or not. So she needs to be ready to take care of everything. She's equal to me. She has more burden, yes. But I have to make sure that she's not depending on somebody else. That was the message of gurus. Women fought in the battles along with men. In 1739, India was...
Is it true though that men had to find a word on things pretty much like, laws, et cetera, favored men?
No,
No?
no, not at all.
I don't believe that.
It's tough, but like she says sometimes, how come is it that you guys have the same names? Because we have the same opportunities and same rights. The women fought in the battle. In 1739, India was invaded. We were only like 40,000 Sikhs. 20,000 died in one day. And other 20,000, and they were women, kids, men, all equal.
All over the world fought for their lives.
Yeah, so it was bad, but they survived. And they always wanted to come back and be ready. Sir?
Okay, does it have to be our last question? That's fine.
How do you compare, like, Sikhism to, compare and contrast Sikhism to Christianity?
There is no comparison. We cannot compare. Everybody is walking on a path which leads to the one true being.
Okay.
So whether you take this path or that path, as long as you understand it's the one true being, one God.
You're very Unitarian then.
Yeah, it's universal, I would say.
Thank you so much. You were wonderful.
I'll be here. You can ask more questions. Thank you.
Yeah, so Harjot, if you're willing to, we have an hour afterwards where we just go downstairs, have coffee, tea, bagels, and discuss. So if you're willing to stay for more grilling, that would be great. Okay, our final hymn this morning is number 347, Gather in Spirit. I'll extinguish the chalice now. Sit and listen to the postlude, and we'll see you at coffee hour.
You know, I